Hey all, I've come out into my shamanic shack to do today's little conversation with you all. It's a bit nippy out here now. I need to get a little fire in here. But there is this... Here comes the train, of course. Right on time. Right on time. I'll just speak louder. Yeah, I've got little spiders out here with me and needs a little bit of a dust, but it's cozy. I've got my couch. I've got a little couch out here, and let me just show you. I've got a couch, I've got my banners, and I've got my dingly dangles, my yoga mat, and at some stage I will be coming out here to lead women's circles and coaching calls with people. But for now, this is my little place to come when the house ain't quiet, shall we say. Everyone is yapping in there. So this is much easier than having to hide in my bedroom and them keep interrupting me, even though I put on the door, recording in progress. They don't seem to be able to read. Anywho, I digress, as per usual. Last night, things went on, but I want to talk about it because I really felt like I went through something and fortunately came out the other side feeling a lot more clarity. But it's something that unless I've learned to become an observer of myself and be able to, I'm getting texts, sorry, see, I get so distracted. If you don't learn to be an observer of yourself from a point of non-judgment, you will always ignore the things that you need to look at. And last night was one of those moments where I had to look at something in order to move forward into this next stage, I believe. Anyway, so the whole thing has been kind of brewing, I guess, for a little time. So those are those of you that know me from TikTok, and then I've got my Instagram community, and then I know people in BandLab, and Facebook is kind of like a place where I generally just had stuff about family life. There are situations, anyway, that's not the, I guess why privacy is important from some of the things that are taking place with us as a family. But as of late, from the back of coming into this group that I talk about with these practitioners, everyone was using Facebook. There's a Facebook group, it's a Facebook. And then all these people were like asking to be my friend. And obviously they're practitioners. But then I was also realizing I'm missing a trick by not putting my music out there on Facebook. So I was then putting my music in like up and coming artists, or share your music, share your original music here. So that I was kind of starting to use Facebook as well. And I you know me, I'm a social media maiden, madness, whatever. And on each platform there's varying amounts of people and the amounts, but they're all very sort of compartmentalized. I knew the audience on Instagram, and there's quite a large following over there. But then I kind of went off and did BandLab for a long time, and now I have quite a large following there. And we've built all these connections, and I think that's as it was meant to. But they were all in their own little pockets, and then I started just sharing like these type of videos, which used to be predominantly coming from Instagram. I just make them here because I felt like TikTok needed a bit of a pocket of me as well. And I've now got used to interacting with TikTok, and then I'll share it on my Instagram, my YouTube, everywhere. So it's kind of spreading yourself out. And I guess my point is, there was a time when certain places people knew me as that's what she does on this part, that's what she does on that bit. But I kind of got to a point where I'm now like, well, you just have to have all of me and whatever I'm doing everywhere. But when it came to the Facebook, because it's my personal page, it stirred up some stuff in me. Like, do I really want my family listening to me? Or, you know, do I really want them to see that version of me where I'm like dressed up with horns doing like metal music? And then I realized it was a bit deeper than that, because, and this is something that I'm touching on, I've always had this feeling that there's so many variations of me, but they're all me. None of them are inauthentic, but there can be a part of me that's really soft and loving and kind and light, and people often say, oh, you're like an angel, or you sing like an angel, and sort of sweetness and light. And yes, that is an aspect of me, but then there's also an aspect of me that, you know, as I just mentioned, like likes to dress up in crazy clothing and do weird funky music videos, and I so many of my friends are like metalers and considered dark, and like, you know, some people are like, how can you hang out with them? I was like, because I bloody love them, you know. I have no distinction between, I guess, light and dark, or how it appears light and dark. To me, it's about who you are as a person within, and it's almost like dressing up. Sometimes I feel like I just put on an archetype. Well, what Bex is showing up today, that as well. Like, some people call me Bex, some people know me as Becca from Band Lab, some people know me as Rebecca, some people call me Boodles, some people call me whatever. It's like there's so many different varieties, and people know me from different areas of my life. And when I had this funeral and I had to go back to my old town, it was like, oh yeah, they remember that Bex, or they remember, you know, that version of me, and I'm still her in some aspects, but also not. Anyway, this something was coming up in me last night, because being in one place and allowing yourself to be seen fully by everyone is quite a daunting process, particularly family. I think it was like, oh, you know, well, I know what some people, they've already like given their opinion on what they think of me, and so I was kind of hitting that. And then I realized that actually none of those people's opinions would have any weight if there wasn't a part of myself that was struggling with the same issue. And then I realized I need to accept that I'm all of these things, and I love every aspect of myself. And if you don't learn to love every aspect of yourself, you're never going to show up in that authentic energy, because it's always going to be a part of yourself of like, oh, is that person going to be looking at the dark metal side of Bex, the crazy one that loves doing weird videos, or do they have an impression of me that I'm just like this angel that sings in heaven? You know, I do both. And it's like, I have to accept that I am all of those things. And I had to come to a place last night where I really put myself under the microscope and said, it's not about those people saying anything. It's about why is it bothering you? Like, and when I think about it, it doesn't really matter. It doesn't really matter. And I really think that we're stepping into a time, or on your journey, you'll always be called to step up and embrace a different version of you. But it doesn't mean it's not you. It doesn't mean it's inauthentic, you know. You can be everything you want to be. And I was also, it correlates with like, I channel from like at least 12 different realms, and sometimes conversations with people, they think I'm a Fruit Loop. But I know that sometimes I'll be channeling with the angels, sometimes I'll be in the realms of dragons and breathing fire, sometimes I'm with my ancestors, I'm in the past, but the past is representing the future, and there's so much that goes on. And if I was just to take one piece of the pizza, I wouldn't be having this multi-dimensional experience here on Earth. And I often feel like I don't belong. I'm not from here, and none of us are, but I feel like I have to be able to offer all of it in order to get across and do what I'm supposed to do here on Earth. So yeah, some thoughts for you today. Are you showing up fully? Let me know.